Here's a restoration project that I think is really awesome. Did you know that New York used to be called the Big Oyster? There were over 220,000 acres of oyster reefs in the harbour, and each oyster can filter 190 litres of water a day. So the harbour is clear, they filter out nitrogen, the reefs provide homes for plants and animals to live. And there used to be whales and dolphins and seahorses and all kinds of life in the New York harbour. But then in the 1700s, the growing colonial population is eating the oysters. And in 1715, there was the first conservation law to protect the New York harbour oyster beds. But then in the 1800s, that was removed, and then the oyster farms, the oyster industry really got going. And then the city started dumping raw sewage directly into the harbour, and by the 1900s there were no oysters left, and the harbour was just a polluted mess with no life in it. But we're in a turnaround phase now, and in the 1970s the Clean Water Act came into force, and you weren't allowed to dump raw sewage in the harbour anymore. And then now there's this amazing group called the Billion Oyster Project, and they want to restore oyster reefs around New York Harbour. They are working with students and restaurants and citizen scientists and volunteers, and have restored 100 million baby oysters and 16 acres of oyster reefs. And they have run a recycling program with restaurants so that restaurants can donate back the oyster shells after they have been cooked or whatever. And these shells are used as a substrate for the baby oysters to attach to, which forms the new reefs. And this is great. The New York Harbour is the cleanest it's been in 100 years, and there were even whales seen in it in 2010. So you can't eat the oysters yet, there's still a lot of pollution, but these oyster reefs will clean the water, they will help prevent storm surges, and they will filter out pollution. Super cool. I love the work that they're doing. And in New Zealand, we also have a similar problem and solution. In the Hauraki Gulf, there used to be 600 acres of mussel beds. Mussels also filter out nitrogen and clean the water, and the mussels in the Hauraki Gulf could filter the whole volume of water that is in the Firth of Thames every single day. So the water used to be really clear. But they were fished out, scraped off the bottom of the ocean, so that now all is left is just this muddy, silty mess. And the water is really degraded, and the fish is degraded, and it's in a really bad state. But there is a restoration project underway, and hopefully we will see cleaner water and more life in the Hauraki Gulf soon as well. So more about that in a later video. But thanks so much to people who are putting in this work to clean the harbours and hopefully get them back to where they used to be.